Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the general meeting of shareholders of the PROJEKT group. We are going to vote on resolutions connected to the motivational program, the incentive program. So I would like to make a short introduction before we start working on the resolutions. During the previous general meeting, when we were summing up the results of 2019, we voted on the incentive program for the next 4 to 6 years. And the incentive program, as to its content, was adopted, but the warranty subscription, that is the instrument used to realize this incentive program, was not voted, was not adopted. So we meet again to vote again on those resolutions with some amendments. And I would like to make a short summary of the programs we've had so far. I want you to understand how important and how relevant this program is. This is a good program. The first incentive program we had connected to shares started in 2012, at the beginning of 2012, the main objective being to earn 2031 billion during four years, so it was a dozen million every year. That was very ambitious at that time, because until then we did not have profits that would range to that amount, reach that amount. We had 390 million in total, so we went above the threshold by 70%. The next program was very similar to the previous one, almost identical, and it started in 2016, and the objective was 618 net profit for 4 years. After 4 years, once again, we had 735 million net profit cumulatively during 4 years, so that's once again a surplus compared to the main objective. The difference between the first and the second program, the objectives of the first and the second incentive program, was 267%. That is how much we increased the second program. Now we have the third program. For 4 years, the objective is 6 billion zlotys, so almost 10 times more than the second edition. The company is developing. We are bigger and bigger, and our objectives are getting more and more ambitious. The ambitions are clearly rising. We think, and I speak as a member of the management board and shareholder, we think that this incentive program is very advantageous. During the previous 2 editions, the shares were from 460 to 600 that we have now, and this is not only a result of the program, but of course this is the result of the work of our team of people, but this is addressed to a group of people who are mainly responsible for the results, and we want this group of people, who becomes bigger and bigger as the company grows, has some objectives set for the next 4 years. So since the previous program was implemented, we would like now this group to be able to participate in the next edition. So I would like to encourage you to vote for. And now I'm giving the floor to Piotr. According to the suggestions of the shareholders, there are a number of amendments we've made compared to the previous version that we voted on the previous general meeting. Piotr, I give you the floor. Piotr Mielubowicz, yes, like Adam mentioned, we listened to the expectations of the shareholders, and the draft resolutions we have today include some changes compared to the program we voted on the previous time. 3 things. First, the 5% discount for realization of market objectives of the program are abolished. Secondly, we have changed the reference date starting from which we settle the increase of share prices and the WIG index when implementing the market objective. Now, the increase was supposed to be counted from the end of the previous incentive program, so end of 2019. In the current draft, it is this date, today, the 22nd of September. The third change being that we introduce at least a 3-year period for implementing the program. For the first time, The objectives are supposed to be met as concerns the results, and the market can only be confirmed when we have confirmed the results for 2022. That means in 2023. Moreover, there are some technical changes that we have implemented that will not impact the main logic, the main rationale behind the program. Now I will formally open this general meeting. Katarzyna Szwarc. I am the chairwoman of the supervisory board, and this was convened on the 27th of August through current report 6 2020, and according to the agenda, we now go on to the election of the general meeting chairman. This is going to be a secret vote, secret ballot. If you need instructions about how to use the devices for a remote vote, please ask. Otherwise, we will start with a test vote. This is going to be a test vote for those who are present remotely to test whether they can vote yes or no. So we are starting now the test vote. This is a test vote. Do we have all the votes? Yes, thank you very much. So we are now going on to election of the chairman of the general meeting. Do we have any candidates? I would like to propose Katarzyna Szwarc, who is the chairwoman of the supervisory board, and I propose that she becomes chairwoman. Katarzyna Szwarc, I accept. Do we have any other candidates? Since there are no other candidates, please vote now. The vote is a secret ballot. Thank you very much. 63,862,013 valid votes. All were in favor. Thank you very much for your trust and for having elected me. Now the attendance list. We will now check if today's general meeting was duly convened. So today we have present or represented 636 shareholders representing 63,862,013 votes. That is 66.4% of the share capital. The general meeting was duly convened by a publication online on the 27th of August 2020 and through the current report published on the same date, number 26, 2020. It can therefore adopt binding resolutions. I am now signing the list of the attendance list. You can have a look at the list during the general meeting. If any of the shareholders would like to have a look at the list after the meeting, if you want to receive it from the company, please ask the company WZA at cdprojekt.pl. No, sorry, WZA at cdprojekt.com. We are now voting resolution number 2. This is about adopting the agenda. Before voting, I propose that we vote on the resolutions published by the Management Board in the current report 26/2020 on the 27th of August. I'm not going to read the resolutions before voting. If any of the shareholders wish me to read them out, please ask before we start voting. Of course, if there are some changes, we will introduce the amendments and then we will read out the text of the resolution with the amendments proposed. Therefore, let me go on to resolution number 2, adoption of the agenda as published in current report 27/2020 on the 27th of August. Please vote now.
Thank you very much. A total of 63,862,013 valid votes were cast, all in favour, which means that the resolution has been adopted. Thank you very much. And we're now moving on to the next vote on changes in the provisions of the resolution instituting the incentive programme. Piotr has presented the parameters that have been modified as compared to the resolution that was voted on the 28th of July. Are there any questions, any comments? I see none, so let's move on to the vote. This is an open ballot. Thank you very much. A total of 63,862,013 valid votes were cast. 51,522,176 in favour. 12,339,837 against. The resolution has been adopted, and we're now moving on to resolution number 4 on the issue of subscription warrants in conjunction with the exclusion of subscription rights for existing shareholders for the incentive programme and the increase in the share capital by issuing Series N shares. Are there any questions, any comments, any requests? If there are none, let's move on to the vote. A qualified majority of votes is required here, so please take it into account when calculating the results. Thank you very much. Total of 63,862,013 valid votes were cast, including 51,373,543 in favour and 12,488,470 against.
Przepraszam, ja tylko coś sprawdzę. Uchwała zatem została podjęta,
Which means that the resolution has been adopted. We have required majority of 4/5 of all the votes. Thank you very much for voting. And I hereby close today's General Shareholders Meeting. On behalf of the Management Board and all the employees, I would like to thank the shareholders for this result. Thank you.
Wypracowywać te 6 miliardów złotych.
Yes, we will be more motivated to achieve the 6 billion. Thank you.